Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Anwar Mohd and I will be presenting my research paper with the title of Organizational Leadership Experience during Undergraduate Studies and its Association with the Stress Level Management in the Workplace, a study among International Islamic University Malaysia alumni in today's conference, International Conference on Social Sciences and Humanities 2020. Now, first thing is, this will be the overview for my presentation today. We will begin with the research background, research objective, study significance, literature review, methodology, findings, conclusion, recommendation, and also references. Now, we will begin with the research background. Now, the most important thing is that we have to identify the issues or the background of the status quo that needs the study to be conducted. So the first thing is, according to Bernama, mental illness is expected to become the major second half problem that affects Malaysians in 2020. So because stress is also one of the mental wellness issues, which also included in the mental illness. So it is also important for us to identify the issue and the status quo that involved before we move and proceed to further analysis. And now, currently, 4.2 million of Malaysians above 16 years old also suffer the mental illness. It is estimated, according to the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, the cost of managing or the uh, the cost of managing the issues of mental illness was around 10 trillion in 2010 and is predicted to reach 24 trillion in Malaysia in 2030. So we can see that the issue is pretty much serious and cannot be taken lightly. And also we can see the issue was made worse by the performance of the workers in the workplace in Malaysia, such as previously civil servants have scored pretty and very bad in the Malaysia Psychological Wellbeing Index survey, which was conducted in August 2018 according to Alumni 2019. And also the leading factors in causing the negative experience of stress include the disorganized between job demands and abilities, time pressures such as too many deadlines and high workloads, and also other contributing factors such as family-related issues, diseases, chronic illnesses, and also emotional problems. And among the background of the research includes the potential solution which can be proposed through the participation of the student leadership, which is according to Noah, Abdul Muttalib and Hossein 2015. Student leadership experience can also contribute to the positive emotional management, which is this uh, uh, research about the student leadership give a promising potential in managing the issue of stress in workplace, especially to the student, the alumni, and also students who involve themselves in the student leadership can deal better with uncertainties, thus able to take risks more willingly, according to the Hilliard 2010. Now the objectives are here, which is here to study to investigate the association between leadership experience during undergraduate study and stress management in the workplace among student leader alumni of RUM, and there are two specific objectives in order to fulfill the overall objective of the study. The first specific objective is to identify the skills gained from the leadership experience which benefit the positive work environment of the alumni student leader. The second specific objective is to investigate the association between the leadership experience and the stress level management in the workplace. So the key factors here is it is important for us to identify the skills gained and the potential impact of the leadership experience in sustaining the positive workplace environment of student leader alumni. So basically the significance of this study is that the research gap which there is no study conducted yet in relating and exploring the association between the student leadership experience and also the stress level management in the workplace among the student and the alumni. So the subjects for this study are the alumni of RUM who have experienced the leading position of various leadership experience during their undergraduate studies, and they have the proper and established experience. So these are among the literature review, the significant literature review for this research. The first one is the connection of the good leadership with excellent emotional intelligence as described by Hilliard 2010, which means good leadership is actually someone who has an excellent emotional intelligence and able to do strategic planning. And also the importance of the leadership experience uh, for the students to be employed for their future career life in the future, according to the Law et al. 2015. And there are also other values, which are important values as well, that can be gained during the student leadership experience, such as communication skills. According to Icosah and Icosah 2010, they can also be the agent of positive change at the campus level since the early exposure. They'll have a better self-understanding, greater understanding towards others. The most important thing is they can show greater commitment and gain improved conflict management skills compared to the other students, which that is also important in engaging the issue of the stress level management in the workplace for the future career life. And the issues, the background issues of the stress in the workplace, such as according to the Canada 2019, offices also become the place which may contribute to the higher stress pressure. And the issue, the background of the issue, the status quo right now, that the issue of the stress level in the workplace, the pressuring environment of workplace is not only limited to the national level, but is also shared with the other countries as well, which means this is a global issue, it's not just a local and national issue. The methodology, the study design that was used in this study is a qualitative study based on semi-structured interview with participants. There were respondents of this study or the interview among IM alumni and being conducted from February until April 2020. The inclusion criteria, the most important thing is that the respondent must be the graduates from the alumni of RIUM at least 10 years and above, and must have a proper working experience with a minimum of 5 years working experience. So why with this inclusion criteria so specific? So it is actually determined based on the expert's view, which highlighted that, for example, a minimum of 3 to 5 years working experience is actually required to provide the significant career progression of the graduates after they have graduated from the university. So the interview tools, the among the questions that were used in the study or the interview was the open-ended questions. For example, what factors mainly contribute to your stress? Why do you think it's important for students to involve with the leadership experience? So the participants of the respondents might have more chance to express all the information so that the objective can be meaningfully fulfilled and achieved in exploring the association between the leadership experience and also the stress level management of the alumni at their workplace. So the interview questions were guided and evaluated by supervisor and co-supervisor for the appropriateness and its relevancy to answer questions in the research. So the data analysis, the audio interview were recorded in English and then were transcribed. I will share it later. The transcript, the sample of the transcript, and the transcript were later analyzed to identify the imaging themes from the interview. The initial coding is generated through data upload, reorganization of data, and also data exploration. After that, the themes were reviewed by connecting and interrelating the themes. Lastly, the themes were defined and named to produce the report, which is the complete paper or the thesis By following all the steps, the findings were discussed constantly with supervisor and supervisor for further documentation of the findings. Um, these are the interview questions, the sample of the interview questions, the consent form from one of the respondents, and these are the interview transcript. Basically, one of the interview transcript. I think that's A1. So we have four respondents, which practically covers all four areas of leadership in US. And the findings, we identify few factors of stress in workplace include poor communication quality, pressure deadlines, and workload at the workplace, and also family-related issues. Also, we also managed to find the coping mechanisms of practice by the alumni, such as having good communication skills, which is also important, as we have mentioned before uh, previously, practicing good time management, having a rational mindset, and some respondents also share that it is important for them to seek spiritual sign as one of the coping mechanism, and also other studies also supported that include the communication skills such as GSA and Alpha 2010, and other skills include the management skills and also troubleshooting skills. Alright, among the we also identify several importance of participation of students for the leadership experience during the undergraduate studies. For example, the platform is said by by some of the participants. It will provide students with relative experience and prepare the students in facing the reality after they are graduated from the university. This is also shared by other research such as Noah et al. 2018, Jiasen Alpha 2010, and other respondents also share that the platform will actually boost the development of the students through their participation in student leadership. So this will help them in maintaining and managing their mental wellness for their future career life. So it's especially important for them for their psychological aspects in their future career life, and it also includes self-leadership skills and will develop flexible mindsets. And this is also supported by other studies such as Hilliard 2010, and according to the Hilliard 2010 also, students will be more flexible and able to deal with more uncertainties better than students as well. So from the conclusions, the study managed to reveal 5 factors of stress in the workplace, which are also supported by scientific studies. The study also revealed 8 management mechanisms of stress in the workplace practiced by the alumni, included few that have been highlighted in the presentation just now. And there are also 6 potential skills gained during the leadership experience which benefit the positive work environment, and the skills that also contribute to the effective management technique practiced by the alumni in managing stress in their workplace. So for example, the communication skills are very important. And also finally, 5 importance of student involvement in leadership during undergraduate years, including the platform which prepared the student with reality experience in preparing the students to be exposed with the reality after they graduated from the university. However, further research is necessary to understand possible external factors and variables which might influence the acceptance of the hypothesis and further support the conclusion. So there are few recommendations actually to further assess the conclusion and the hypothesis of the study. Um, Firstly, the approach of the study or the future study can be varied, such as systematic review approach, for example, so that it can further support the conclusion of the study. Next, strong comparison analysis can also be made. So, for example, we include a wider category of respondents, such as those alumni of IIM which did not involve in the student leadership previously. So, this will help the research to have further and deeper understanding about the variables, and thus able to evaluate the effectiveness of the ecosystem provided by the higher educational institution, especially IIM, in tackling the mental wellness issue for the alumni students. So these are among the references that are being used in fulfilling or completing the study. So I guess that's all. So thank you very much and Assalamualaikum. Thank you for lending your ears and time.